We're back. Okay, and I'm so sorry because you got to take notes, but you got to keep the goggles on because we got the reactions are cooking. Yeah. Okay, so today we are dealing. We're making the precursor to a pheromone, as I said, and pheromones are a fascinating subject. You know, you can spend hours on YouTube just learning about pheromones. I believe this is true. There's never been a proven human pheromone shown. No matter what the perfume and cologne companies and there's some new soap company. Anyway, there is the. Are you guys familiar with the sweaty T-shirt study? Have you guys ever heard of this?
Oh yeah, they had women smell men's BO.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. They had men exercise or sleep in shirts for a couple of days, and then choose which one is the most appealing of these T-shirts and stuff like that. The crazy thing that they found, and I don't know how well this is regarded. I know that it's been shown, the experiment's been redone and shown to some degree. But we have an area in our genes, the MHC, which I'm blanking now what it stands for. But it sort of helps determine what are the types of things we're going to be immune to. Oh gosh, it's going to come to me after we're done. Anyway, MHC is the area on our genes that helps guide what we're immune to. And what they found is that women were picking the T-shirts of men who had MHCs that were different and thus complementary. Because if you have offspring with somebody that has different and complementary MHCs, you have a better chance statistically of your child surviving, right? Better immunity than just somebody that has duplicate immunities. So, pretty cool.
Is it the major histocompatibility complex?
I believe so, yes.
Look at physiology and chemistry.
Yeah, don't ever, hopefully Dr. Lawrence never sees this video because I'm sure I'm butchering this story. But I believe it's also, they've been able to show it in men too, so men can smell the shirts of women and pick complementary MHC people. And I think I've heard hypotheses of how is this working. It might have something to do with the bacteria. Different people have different bacteria that's allowed to survive on our skin, and so maybe that's we have a lot of body odor comes from bacteria. So anyway, pretty cool stuff. Maybe there's a new dating app or something. I don't know if it could work. No, probably not. Yeah. So anyway. And as I said, we're going to test out your products. We are doing this reaction utilizing one of the pinnacle classical reactions of organic chemistry. And that's called an SN2 reaction. S for substitution, and you learned some of the reaction types back in Gen Chem actually. So in a substitution, some atoms are going to be gone, some atoms, and there's going to be some new atoms added. Nucleophilic, which means basically you have something that's going after a positive core, the nucleus, right? And then 2 stands for that it's bimolecular. In the critical step, there are 2 reagents that are playing a part in the critical step, basically. And Dr. Eugenol will go into a much fuller explanation of SN2 reactions and compare it with SN1 reactions, and then add on some elimination reactions as well. a generic representation of an SN2 reaction, you have a nucleophile, which I'm going to just call nuke. And that nuke has a lone pair of some kind. It's often charged with a negative charge, not always, but often. And then you have, and so this is our quote unquote nucleophile. Okay. So here's our nucleophile, here's our electrophile. And what happens is there's for some reason or another, usually it has to do with some pretty electronegative atoms here, there is a partial positive charge on your carbon group. Okay? And then you have a negative charge here, and so the nucleophile, phile means loving, nuke represents nucleus, that's where all the positive charges, so I believe that's where the name stems from, nucleophile. Electrophile, it's loving electrons. Okay, so the nucleophile is attracted to that partial positive charge. This lone pair is going to become a bonding pair of that carbon. And in the process, it's going to kick off what we call the leaving group. So, in the end, you will have all right. Like I said, classic reaction in organic chemistry. And that's what we're doing here to make methyl eugenol. Okay. And this is a pretty cool reaction. This is dimethyl carbonate. Dimethyl carbonate serves as both our solvent and our electrophile, actually. Right? So a partial positive charge is on that carbon. So remember last time we talked about mechanism. We see that we have bonds broken and bonds formed. Okay, there used to be an OH on that in that position. Okay, now there's a CH3. All right, so the OH bond got broken and this O carbon bond got formed. Okay, so how did that happen? What's the mechanism that caused that to happen? Well, the first thing that happens, we have our potassium carbonate. Okay. And that acts as a base. Okay. Now, ordinarily, carbonate won't deprotonate alcohols. It doesn't work. How does it work in this situation? What I'm essentially asking is, why is that proton more acidic than just regular alcohol protons? I can't tell you how blurry you guys all are right now. See, just shapes, white codes. reason, anytime you want to decide, well, why is this more acidic than that? You should always look at the species after the proton's gone. What do we call that? We call it the conjugate base. Okay? If this is more acidic than a regular alcohol, that means the conjugate base is more stable than the conjugate base of a regular alcohol for some reason. Okay? So that means that the O minus there is extra stable. Why is it extra stable?
Has more resonance.
More resonance, exactly. If you put a negative charge on there, it can resonate to that carbon position, to that carbon position, and to that carbon position. That carbon position. Okay? So anytime Mother Nature can spread around charge, it's better, a little better, and more stable. Okay? Potassium carbonate can be propane, and this functional group is actually called a phenol. So sorry.
It's kind of entertaining.
I'm glad. Here, you answer. No. What can I do for you, son? What? He doesn't understand. You have to press the button and then talk. All right. Let's. Do you guys mind? I'm sorry. Pause for a second.